So welcome back, and as we said, we have a brilliant game just moments away. It's SPALE against Virtus.Pro, and I personally cannot wait for this one. It's watching my favorite matchup, and you can never really beat that feeling, can you?
No, it's fantastic. These two are really big dogs in this game.
Yep.
SPALE uncannily good at beating Virtus.Pro, so really excited for this one.
Yeah, I think everyone in this room is right now, and I know a certain lady who is also rather excited to have a chat with you guys to just let you know how to get involved and get some goodies into your pocket, some bonus codes, some gold, and all that good stuff. So Melly, how can the people at home get involved with us here in the studio?
It's really easy, Lauren. You just have to surf on our social media platforms and be part of our Facebook and Twitter community. That's the first step of getting involved. And I will put up a vote. Well, I actually have at the moment you see this. And where you have to vote for your favorite team in the matchup. And also, you have the chance to hand in your predictions in the comments below, and by guessing the exact right scoreline, you can win bonus codes. The other way to win bonus codes is simply tweeting. I will be rewarding 3 tweets of the day at the end of the show, and those tweets can be questions, I don't know, feedback, anything you want to mention, you want us to let us know. We love hearing from you. We love reading from you. So head over to Twitter and tweet us by the use of hashtag WGLEU, and I will learn it. Give me. Next Thursday I will do it without any hassle. So yes, that's basically it. But I want to mention our Halloween contest again because we're still missing some submissions from you people. We have 32.5k gold on the line. So we will be rewarding 5 submissions. We have 1 by now. So the next 4, and if there are no more submissions until then, will win. So head over to your supermarket of choice, get a pumpkin, and carve something nice. It doesn't have to be WoT themed. We would like seen something.
Yeah, you know, Melly went all out and carved a whole tank into hers, you know, as you do. Some keen buggers out there do seem to work a little bit harder than others. He failed at writing ESL, bless him.
Yeah, I struggle with that.
It's quite hard work. I did a smiley face and kind of went for the easy option, but there's nothing stopping you guys from doing the easy option, isn't that right, Melly?
Absolutely. So we want to see anything. A pumpkin with a face would be nice. Anything more, I don't know, time intensive would be nice as well. But we want to see any carved pumpkins from you. Just send them on our Facebook page via message, and I will upload them in our album. So if we have more than 5 submissions, at least a bit of e-fame is guaranteed. That's nice as well, I guess. So that's basically all. Follow our Twitch channel, of course, to get notified as soon as we're going online to sit kind of in the first row of our show. So to don't miss a minute. That's basically all. Thank you.
Well, there you go. That's exactly how you guys at home can get involved. And we do love hearing from you here in the studio because we're just left here on our own and we don't actually get to see the outside world all that often. So do make sure you come and talk to us, obviously. And we do appreciate every single one of you who's watching, obviously, on Twitch. And say hello. Make sure you do, obviously, via Twitter to ourselves, at They Call Me Pansy, at LaughterWOT. And we'll get to Melly after the show, don't you worry. She's got enough followers. She doesn't need any more friends. But let's stop messing around here. Let's get back to the game because this is what we're all here for. Let's see those lineups. Take us through the captains, the standout players. Who's going to be that defining key member?
So SPALE sitting in 6th place, so they are secure for the moment in the offline finals, which is the top 6 of Season 3. Eurofish sitting up there in the team captain spot. Standout players, obviously Dovahkiin, he's been very good, although he's kind of lowered down a little bit because he's been a little bit lackluster in some of his gameplay. Sorry, Dovahkiin. And we've got Mokilumi Mopati, such a good heavy tank player, the IS3. Fantis, fantastic. MX39 player, and obviously BND, who's relatively new to the team, but he's been in for a while. And for Virtus.Pro, our Season 2 grand finalists, taking the first spot after a rather disappointing for Virtus.Pro Season 1 finish of 2nd place. Crete sitting up there in the team leader spot. He replaced Derp, who was their long-term team leader for a very long time. So standout players, Breakneck, really like to see him, although he's been disappointing. Just Cause, I love him in his MX1390. Amelka T69, done so well in that tank and really just a standout player for them. Such an old school player and really got that experience behind him. So 2 very, very good teams. I reckon equal in terms of player scale, equal in terms of just tactical ability. SPALE plays a little bit more offensively than Virtus.Pro, while Virtus.Pro is certainly more clinical.
Yeah, and I love watching these two go head-to-head. They're almost ready for those tank picks. So you don't need to rush them. But still, it'll be a great game. And I want to know your predictions, guys, at home. Make sure you tweet at us as well, because I love reading them. Because it's so hard to define these two. Because SPALE's the one team that could always cause upsets. That's the big kind of threat towards them. SPALE are just so damn good at it. Every single time, just getting under the skin of the big Russian sides. And Virtus.Pro, their clinical, cool, calm, and collected play can be offset. And it's great to watch. And it's just a real pleasure. So hopefully they'll be ready nice and quickly. Virtus.Pro just having a little bit of a chat before they go live, making sure everything is ready and set, because you can't take SPALE lightly. That's the biggest thing here. They may not be sitting at the very top of the league, but you know firsthand that these guys really can be the ones to cause upsets.
Yeah, in Season 1, both teams got a win against each other. Same goes for Season 2. At the moment, Virtus.Pro, though, they are 1-0 ahead. They won it in Season 3, the first game, so that was 2-3 results for them. So SPALE, if we go on trends, are more likely to win this one. They certainly can. They've had a little bit of a rough start to the season. I think they've been a little bit more consistent in the first couple of seasons here. But it's going to be a risky old lineup, and it's going to be risky old games. I think it's going to be very close. SPALE, the reason why they often win against Virtus.Pro, because they just catch them out. They're not. The Virtus.Pro is always very clinical. They're used to sitting back, getting the information early on, and then using that to their advantage. While SPALE just push in, catch Virtus.Pro unawares, and just really use that advantage. So honestly, if they can do that, I think they're going to be a very dangerous threat.
Okay, I'm going to ask you then, what's your predicted scoreline?
2-3.
2-3 in favor two?
Ooh. I would say on paper SPALE, but I don't know. It's going to be tricky. Virtus.Pro, they're doing pretty well at the moment.
All right, I'm going to put faith in Virtus.Pro right now. I'm going to say 3-2 in favor to them. I think SPALE will do well. But I think when it comes down to it, Virtus.Pro will just knock it up that second gear that they always seem to have. Now, the tank picks have begun, so let's throw you towards that screen. But we can also have a quick chat about steps as well, because obviously this is one that's going to be kicking us off here. Who does this favor?
Virtus.Pro have the advantage of experience in steps because it was in Star Ladder for a very long time, the year they had the 4 seasons in. So I would give it to them, but SPALE they have really good open map coordination and awareness. I think that's going to kind of counteract Virtus.Pro a little bit. But Virtus.Pro off the back of a win from this weekend, taking go for WoT first place against Team Dignitas. A couple of T1s though to start us on tank picking for both teams at standard. And now Virtus.Pro's time to pick. I believe they're going to go for an AMX 3090 and a T69, or just 2 of those each tanks. They've also started to pick the 416 a little bit more.
We have seen that start coming into their kind of repertoire, or their kind of bag of tanks, let's say. It's nice seeing it coming into play even in the bigger teams. Yeah,
it's an excellent sniper. It does a lot of damage. It's pretty quick as well. It can keep up with an AMX 3090, so when you come down to that chase situation, it certainly doesn't let that tank get away. MX 3090 T69, the first bulky tanks from Virtus.Pro, as expected. Probably going to be mirrored by SPALE. Obviously, as we head in towards the later picks, then we start seeing the Pershing and the 416 comes out. So indeed, SPALE going for the MX 3090 and the T69. So we're probably going to see, we might see a T32, although it was kind of used for a couple of weeks and the teams thought, well, this is not really working as we thought it would do in maybe training or whatever they've been really testing it on, maybe even random battles or tank company battles. And obviously that was before the T mode was introduced. Double MX 3090 from Virtus.Pro, the next 2 picks. So they've gone for 3 MX 3090s. I think that's going to be the end of the MX 3090 here, though. Probably not going to go for 4. So the next couple of picks, probably a Pershing and a 416. But SPALE at the moment just mirroring Virtus.Pro. Yeah, just going back and forwards with these picks at the moment. But we are heading into the last pick for these 2 teams. T69, triple MX 3090, double T1 for Virtus.Pro thus far. And we're just going to have to wait and see if they're going to pick either a 416 or a Pershing, or maybe even just another T69 or T32. Okay, so they are going to cast this curse, I guess, going to go for the T32. Tier 8 American heavy tank. One of the Russian teams are actually deciding to go with that, which is quite unusual because it does give you a little less room to maneuver. It's a little slower. It's a little harder to use. It only really works with a couple of strategies. But SPALE's last pick is going to be that Tier 8 American medium tank, the Pershing. So Virtus.Pro with a T32, SPALE with a Pershing. That's the only difference between these 2 lineups.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see that one really kicking into gear, because I don't think that T32 is as safe a bet as the Pershing, let's say. But then again, it's in the hands of Virtus.Pro. and specifically in the hands of Breakneck, which is, it's very safe hands, very, very skilled and safe hands. So if it's ever going to have a proving point, it's certainly going to be now. And I can't wait to see this one come on, really into effect. So guys, let's get you lined up ready for that first map, which will be Steps.
Steps is the other open map in the map pool, being 1000 by 1000, having no urban areas. There are 3 primary routes of attack: the trench, the rocky area to the left, and the middle road. The road offers direct routes to the enemy's base, but despite having a staggering amount of cover along the way, you are vulnerable to attack from all sides. The trench area provides for great engagements as it's only a few hills and rocks to cover the teams. Most of the engagements occur around this rock, the winner of which gains a crucial foothold on the map. The rocky left area provides the most cover for attacking and defending teams. It's essential that you pick tanks that can traverse from one side of the map to the other rapidly. They also must be able to get to the various key locations as quickly as possible. That is the key to victory.
So welcome to the first map. As Joe kindly told us, it will be Steps, and we are seeing in the north, in that gold and yellow, Virtus.Pro facing off against SPALE in the south in blue. The Finns representing their own color, really. So dangerous times. So what are we seeing so far from these?
Virtus.Pro doing the standard thing, pushing over towards the trench side with most of their tanks, getting up early positions. They've got to be a little bit careful from the crossfire from SPALE, especially with that slow T-32. But SPALE heading over towards the left side. They're doing a standard start as well, both these teams opting for the completely standard tactics. SPALE have been known to be pretty aggressive, and they're certainly living up to that name with these 3 MX-3090s, pushing forwards extremely far. But that's what we expect from Steps. It's a commonly used tactic. Even Eurofish, the team captain of SPALE, leading from the front, as he often does. So they're going to be trying to get the initial spots out, take down those 2 T1s, take down at least 1 T1 if they can. But you can see Virtus.Pro already making the initial shots out, not doing any damage. Eurofish was clever enough to sit behind that rock. But they are sending the MX-3090 aggressively. You can see the difference between Mousesports and Team WD and SPALE and Virtus.Pro being aggressive, pushing forwards, trying to get that information, and really just get themselves an early upper hand.
See, I was just about to say that. We saw Team WD in this very position, I believe, if not Mousesports. And, it took a solid 5 minutes before they even decided to start venturing down this 0 line. Whereas Just Cause and Virtus.Pro, they want that information almost immediately. They are straight out there, and they're looking for any sort of choices, any sort of picks, any sort of spots. If they find them, they'll certainly take that little bit of a chance.
Yeah, 2 minutes into the game, SPALE and Eurofish pushing forwards. He's going to be the first one to try and spot out. Breakneck being spotted indeed. That T-32 has no camo value of what to speak of. It's a huge tank. Even with 100% camo crew, it won't be able to hide for very long. And he does get punished immediately, down to 1,298. But that's pretty much brings him down only a little bit below T-69's base HP amount. So it won't make a huge difference at the end of the day. And Breakneck's going to be playing it in exactly the right role. He's sitting up behind a bush, behind a slope, so he can use that 298mm of turret armor just to sit there, be a real pest to SPALE. And the only one who's really going to be able to do any damage is Fantis in that T-69, because the only weak spot of the T-32 is its commander's copula on the turret, and it's extremely hard shot. The MX-3090 certainly will have a hard time. The T-69 maybe less of a hard time, but even if it hits with heat ammo, it's going to really struggle to penetrate.
Yeah, indeed. And this is so hard to predict here. And who do you think's got the better start out of these two? Because they've been very aggressive both ways around. And they've both got the advantages to their side, let's say. But who has the better position?
I would say SPALE definitely have the better position. Well, they also have a little bit more HP now. Breakneck's been taken down 1 shot. And they are being aggressive, and they're making all the plays at the moment. Virtus.Pro know it. They've got to be careful about those 2 MX-3090s. Got to make them work for their money. And if they can just get them in a kind of behind the SPALE lines and just really pest the SPALE, then they're going to be up 1 for the good. Delight does get spotted by, I believe, Theory, about 320 meters from this T1 spotting range. So Delight already giving the game away a little bit, but Virtus.Pro playing the complete standard tactic, but SPALE straight away on the move. They know exactly how to play this map. They are an aggressive team. They know Delight's up there on the right. They know they can exploit that one AMX 3090 being out of position. They know they have the more firepower in that position, and they're going to be using that to their best advantage they can. Entex being spotted as well. He's just come into the active lineup for Virtus.Pro. He's been away for a little bit. He has played very well, and I think that's one of the reasons why, you know, he had his one test match on Ruinberg, and now he's in for good.
Yeah, and we'll see how this one goes, because as you said, SPALE are not going to look a chance in against Virtus.Pro and deny it. There's 3 tanks that can cause them damage in this position, and they're going to look to try and do some of that. Entex is, however, on the reload. Breakneck still doing his role perfectly there, holding them in place, denying them an easy way through, but Fantis has appeared on the horizon, so it might be a matter of time before we see that exchange going down. No movement coming back, however, from the other 3 players split up towards that G to K line, so maybe we'll see Virtus.Pro retracting in a moment, but right now they're looking fairly aggressive and fairly secure in the positions they're in, maybe taking SPALE for granted right now.
And Delight is actually pushing in onto Theory, or he's trying to come around at least a little bit, and SPALE know that, but the question is, what's Virtus.Pro's next move? Because they know SPALE will send one tank at least back to deal with Delight, and then they can use that advantage, they can use that extra tank going back and actually push in and really take him down, really do some damage to SPALE. But the real big question is, how much does SPALE really want to commit to Delight going backwards? And does Virtus.Pro have anything to deal with what SPALE has to offer? Will there be another tank in behind to provide the firepower for Delight, the support? But Eurofish is going to have a go.
Yeah, Eurofish did make his way back there, but Delight dancing around these shells coming in, and well, that's some beautiful play to get himself out of there. Does finally get caught in the heels, taking down to 859. He's going to get himself back into that defensive-ish position, or at least behind cover, and try and play this one out safely. Because you can see that Virtus.Pro, they don't overreact to things either. They know that exact level they want to be at. And Delight, that little bit of bait he put out, well, SPALE did not quite fall for it. They didn't overcommit, they didn't overplay. Breakneck and co have been allowed to get a little bit of damage towards Fantis. Excluding that, it's pretty much a very similar start.
Yeah, SPALE only 1 shot ahead now in terms of HP, but that's mitigated by the T-32's 1,550 base HP. So, and only 3 minutes and 50 seconds left. I can't see how SPALE can really work themselves into this game. I think it's more on Virtus.Pro's terms to push forwards. It's really up to them, because SPALE will struggle against the firepower of those AMX 3090s, combined with the armor and the HP of the T-32. So Virtus.Pro have to find a way into SPALE, and there are plenty of options. They just need to do it right. They need to play it properly. They need to think ahead, not think about their next move, just think about the next 3 moves. It is honestly like a game of chess. Eurofish taking one, though. He's down to 882. Good play from Delight. Delight also receiving one, though. 597. So at the moment, it does look like SPALE are returning the damage. They're returning the favors. And if they do that, and they can really work enough HP off Virtus.Pro, they can push in, they can take down that 1 tier 8 tank, get that 1 tier 8 tank advantage, which will give them the win.
Well, 3 minutes left. Virtus.Pro are not looking like they want to move right now. They're very happy where they are. They've got their firing line. They've got all the bases covered. And I don't think we'll see them pushing that much. I don't think, you know, they want, maybe they want to draw this one out. Maybe SPALE got too much of a good start. There was no easy opening, let's say. Finally, they've got a good bit of damage towards Fantis, however. So that could be a possible route through, but will we be seeing them go for it? We are seeing Just Cause, Delight, and Entex making their way back down towards the more northern side of this map. So maybe regrouping and looking for a push, or at least holding back anything SPALE might be able to throw at them. And right now, Fantis is the only player they can really spot out. So Breakneck, being the kind of beefy tank that he is, he's right to the forefront of this. But look at that, 4 players now behind him. We are seeing SPALE making their move. So Virtus.Pro reading this correctly. SPALE are not holding back at all. Here comes the onslaught. The Finns are making their way through those 1390s. Try to play the distraction card, keeping the eyes trained towards them. They'll be flanking around that right side of the hill, looking for a way through. Entex is in trouble. He's been taken low. Delight will find Eurofish, however. Just Cause, Delight, Diver, all eyes towards Agatha. He's down to 30 HP. I don't even know how he's alive right now. Diver looking for that killing blow. He's going to be pushing forward in that 1390. Even the tier 1s are falling in favor of Virtus.Pro with 1 minute and 45 left. Can they do anything now? Mokialumi steps away. Just Cause goes flying in. He's looking for that real advantage, and he's going to get it. He's taken down Agatha. Mokialumi now is in trouble. 45 seconds left, but Muppeti's on the crossfire. This could be the downfall. Maybe Virtus.Pro going too far into this one, but still, here's the recovery team getting in there. Entex going around. Everyone getting into this. Dive Diver will take down Moki Illumi. Now just Fantis, Muppety and BMD stand.
Some struggling shots from the side of SPALE, not hitting all the damage they could. And also Virtus.Pro have the pressure of the cap underway. And they're going to push onto Fantis.
Fantis now has to back away, try and find a way through because Breakneck is not easing up. Oh, stunning shot in the T-32, ripping apart Fantis and just Muppety in any sort of damage dealing position. That T-69, he's trying to do work. He's taken down Diver, but Breakneck's there. Just Cause comes flying up, and it's a matter of time before he falls down. 385 HP left, 48 seconds, but 13 on the cap. Breakneck will deal the killing blow, and Virtus.Pro get that first map under their belt and in some convincing fashion.
Not bad at all from them, although...
Not bad,
I think,
come on.
honestly, that was classic SPALE. That really was SPALE in a tank shell, because they pushed in with all their...
Tank shell. Oh, Lord.
They pushed all their MX-1390s into Virtus.Pro's waiting guns, and they got eagerly destroyed. And just short-sighted, really. They should have sent the T1s in. They still had them alive, or at least sent one in and put one in the cap. See exactly where Virtus.Pro was, and then make their move. Or at least come around from a different location, try and take down the MX-1390s of Virtus.Pro, send 3 in, and the two MX-1390s of Virtus.Pro would have been taken down 3 against 2. It's no problem at all. But that was just it was a little bit turtled down from Virtus.Pro. I think they should have played a little bit more aggressively, but having that T-32 does make it awfully hard. Yeah,
and I was going to say, did you like the 3-player split with the 31, you know, the SPALE split there when 3 tanks went off on their own? What was their kind of plan then? Because it really didn't come through. Were they just trying to play a distraction, maybe catch someone out? Or was this just you know, a really short-sighted play? They didn't know quite what was happening with it?
They didn't think Virtus.Pro would be on that side of the hill. They thought they would be on the other side.
Okay.
And that was obviously untrue. The MX-1390s got back to the right position. And Entex also poked up his head quite early on, which got some good damage down. Yeah, that was a little bit short-sighted. I hope SPALE can really bring themselves back up onto our next map, which will be Himmelsdorf. But yeah, generally not a great start for SPALE. They did play well once they got themselves out of a little bit of a hole, but missing some interesting shots. I think they should have hit a couple more. Well, Virtus.Pro don't really miss anything. They always make their shots count. They never go for that lucky shot.
Yeah, so with that in mind, let's dive into that second map here because the tank picks are beginning. And what are we seeing so far?
So this is Himmelsdorf. We're expecting just 5100s and IS3s to come out from both teams. Double T1 from SPALE, double T1 from Virtus.Pro. Before SPALE going for the double 5100s. So the only thing we might see is one team pick 3 5100s, the other pick 2. Well, 2 IS3s, while the other teams picks through 3 IS3s, 2 5100s. 5100 IS3 for Virtus.Pro, double IS3 for SPALE, 5100 IS3 for Virtus.Pro. But yeah, SPALE's going to go for that last, the new addition to World of Tanks in 8.9, the Tier 8 tank destroyer, the Waffenträger. Which has got a pretty decent gun, about 16 seconds reload, 750 damage, plenty of penetration alongside with that. Not the greatest amount of HP, but it can certainly hold its own. We saw it work on mines. Last pick from Virtus.Pro is going to be the IS3, making their lineup a standard one, double IS3, triple 5100, double T1. While SPALE trying something new, double 5100, double IS3, double T1 with that new Tier 8 tank destroyer, the German sort.
Where's that going to be played on this map?
Well, it's going to be played along the straight road because it's a tank destroyer and it really can't play along corners.
And if you know that, I feel as though Virtus.Pro are going to know that, no offense.
Yeah, probably.
You know, these guys are pretty up to speed, so you can kind of negate his presence there. So I'm kind of curious how this one's going to really play out. Maybe SPALE have something up their sleeve to challenge the big guys with. They often do it. They are very aggressive, but they also have their own kind of very strategic strategies that can come into play. They're very well executed, but this is a little bit, it's a bit of a telltale sign, let's say, of what we're going to be seeing. But still, let's see what Virtus.Pro can do. It's all about that unraveling moments of finding out what the opposition are and how can we deal with this without taking all the damage possible. So hopefully we'll be seeing a close game here. SPALE certainly need to turn something around after the way the first map went. We'll be finding out soon, I can imagine. And guys at home, let us know your thoughts towards this one, because that tank, we saw it on mines before, it did a astounding amount of damage. But
yeah, almost 3K, I think it was, right?
Yeah, it hit 3K, but I think it was 2.9.
Yeah.
But, is there really place for it on Himmelsdorf? It's not something that I normally would see having it there. But, who am I to judge? Maybe SPALE have been working something out.
Yeah, I think there is a position for it, and there's a way to play it. It just depends if SPALE's really trained with it.
Yeah.
They've got it into their minds. They've got a way of kind of developing its movements around the map and getting it into the right positions at the right time. Because if they do, it's going to be able to do some serious damage. Two-shotting an AMX5100, or even one-shotting if you get with a couple of IS-3 shots in there as well. So that will be really, really instrumental to their tactic. And SPALE are half decent at Himmelsdorf. Virtus.Pro, not their strongest map in the world. They do like it, but they've also lost it a couple of times here and there. So they might struggle against this SPALE lineup.
They might do. They very well might do. And I'm really interested to see how this gets played out. I love seeing new tanks into rotations. This is the first time we'll be seeing this tank on this map in at least an official game here. So all eyes on SPALE, maybe having, bringing something up, how they intend to, bring Virtus.Pro into that firing line. I don't know, but maybe they've worked something. And I'm curious to see how that one's going to play out. It's going to be in Eurofish's hands, so that's going to be a one to keep your eyes on. So guys, let's get ready for that second map. It's going to be Himmelsdorf.
Himmelsdorf is the city maps of city maps. It's a small one, being 600 by 600 meters. There are 3 routes of attack: the hill, the banana, and the train side. The middle area is relatively easy to push, however can end up in disaster as you can be flanked from every side. The road, often called banana, allows for direct head-on assaults but requires a lot of resources. Both the railroad area and the road next to it are good routes of attack, being very open and straight. However, for those very same reasons, you can be easily caught out and taken down. The map features many densely housed areas, which provides good places for engagements and routes of attack. Teams must be aware of the various routes their opponents can take through the map, as well as the hull-down positions enemies can take throughout the entire map. The trick with Himmelsdorf is to catch an enemy tank unsupported by his teammates and then use that advantage to collapse on the entire enemy team.
So, welcome into the second map. In the south, it's going to be SPALE, and in the north, it's Virtus.Pro. And what are we seeing so far?
So SPALE playing pretty aggressively. There's 2 IS-3s pushing up towards the 8 line, but that's to be expected. Aga, Eurofish, and Therio towards the left, the 1, 2, 3 line, looking up those railroads. The only one who's really gone off on a limb is BND, heading up the hill with his T1. Although Fantas is sitting far back in his base, wouldn't have really expected that. From the side of Virtus.Pro, they've pushed all of their tanks up the hill pretty much, apart from one which will be looking up the middle, and the 8 line. So that's quite an interesting start from them. They want to be taking out that T1 early on, also looking up some of the routes of attack they can possibly take. They know that SPALE have that low HP tank destroyer. That'll be the first target for Virtus.Pro, because if it can get that reload down, it will just blow them apart. So looking for the line of sight on that tank. They know they can't head up, they can't look down the 1, 2, 3 line or the 8 line, because they will possibly face the tank destroyer, and that'll do some serious damage. So their only really option is the hill, which is a good. So they're doing it well. They're playing it as to be expected. They're playing it with their brains, which is to be expected from Virtus.Pro, to be honest.
Yeah, smart team. We'll see what they can bring here. It does seem as though they're going quite aggressive on the hill. Going to be challenging out BND straight away. Kusok there in that IS-3. Should be an easy little shot there, and it will be. Kusok will pick up the first kill, taking down that little bit of vision away from the hill and giving it back into the hands of Virtus.Pro.
But Eurofish, he's on the prowl right now. He's got Diver in his sights, although Diver does come out of the better there, but just because of the shell travel down. I believe it's heat ammo in that gun, so it always struggles in terms of hitting targets. And now Eurofish taken down from 1,100 HP, which isn't very much, to be fair. It's a very little amount to play around with, especially for a tier 8, same as an AMX1300, which is actually a light tank. So he's down to 772, pretty much. Well, it is a 2-shot for an IS-3, so he's got to be very careful. But if he did hit Diver then, Diver would have been in serious trouble. So it was kind of worth the gamble. You always got to gamble with those shots, and hopefully it does pay off at least a couple of times. Then your team is pretty happy with you. Muppety having a little peek at Breakneck. Breakneck trying to respond. Muppety also responding there, but both tanks missing their shells from this early stage. So again, these two teams playing pretty aggressively. Virtus.Pro going up the hill, taking down that T1, which is a smart play, heading back down again, resetting the fight, and then going to come from probably a different directions, maybe even look towards that 8 line.
We'll have to see how that one goes. So, as you mentioned, Breakneck, Just Cause, Kusok all lining up here, looking for that way through. They did spot out Muppety, but excluding that, very quiet so far. Mokialumi has appeared on the radar. We are seeing a bit of a 3-2 split. So, It is, I believe, Delight up on that hill. So let's spin across Tim, see what they're up against. They have spread out, I believe, a couple of players down the bottom, but still they're taking it carefully. They're playing this smart. They're locking down, the right side of this map, leaving the left side completely open, but still, they feel secure right now. Agaha is on the prowl down there, but they're not falling into that trap. They're leaving Karitz to spot out any movement and just playing it smart. But there's, a little bit of information coming through, maybe looking for a way to challenge down. Kusok has received a shell, but exchanging with Mupti. But here comes the push from Virtus.Pro. They're not holding back for a second. They're going in for this one. The 3-2 split is moving as well. The players on the hill are not messing around either. Mokialumi's going to be in trouble, but Mopiti is the first target. Breakneck comes in. He receives a shell, however. That's not the way they wanted this one to start, but they need to make this happen quickly before they get cornered in, which they're happening right now. Breakneck's down low. 72 HP, just causing Kusok though, doing the work. Delight has taken down Mokialumi. The cavalry is on the way. Delight and Diver will be behind these guys any moment now as the IS3s come back away, and here they come around the corner. That 5100 team, that little bit of a combo doing the damage, and look at this, they're dealing with SPALE on every front. Diver will be going around the corner. Eurofresh down goes down low to 299, but this is just perfect positioning right now. Just Cause finds Aga. Fantis the next target. A focus, he's down to 300 HP, make it 38. Hell, maybe even a tier 1 can take him down. This is easy pickings at the moment. Fantis will fall, Eurofish will follow, and Virtus.Pro, my word, folks, they've not lost a single tank at the moment. They've just destroyed the opposition. Mupti is still alive, and the way they dealt with the fact that Kusok went low so early on with Breakneck is just something to write home about. Mupti still kicking though, takes down Breakneck, but will he deal with the other two? Hell no. One player stands, it's Thierry, and Virtus.Pro just showed us once again why they're the best.
And what's impressive is that most of their tanks are on about 90 HP. So that wasn't any fault of their own. They just played it perfectly. Pushing forwards, getting the distraction from the 8 line, then coming from behind. That was their real damage, the 5100s there. So they got Muppety out of the equation, and then they had the extra line and the extra pressure from their hill. Taking the, the T1 almost destroyed that the tier 8 tank. And because that tank destroyer couldn't get in the game, the 5100s automatically did more damage. So very good game from Virtus.Pro.
Fantastic.
I think what would have been better if SPALE just completely ignored that push from the hill, just went charging onto those IS3s, take them out very quickly, use the 5100s to finish the low health tanks off, and then deal with the guys from behind.
It was all a matter of time then, wasn't it? Timing was key. That 3-2 split was dangerous. Don't get me wrong, those 5100s making their way over the hill. But the way that Virtus.Pro handled it better than SPALE just kind of shows me the skill level at the moment, the way that they could coordinate so well and execute perfectly. As you mentioned, if those IS3s got focused down early on, they got one of them low, but then immediately the other two IS3s came into effect, not allowing it to happen. And it was just so well played out by Virtus.Pro. Even the minor details, they're just so good at.
They have everything perfect, don't they? I mean, they have that heavy tank coordination. If one goes low, you say, the other one comes in front, and they know exactly the rotation, so they have their tank set up in a way that the one can reverse on low HP, the other one can just go forwards and take a spot, and they just rotate with those 3 tanks. That's why all of them were, well, 2 of them were on 90 HP, the other one was on 300 HP, but it's all a one-shot for an IS3. And I think Muppety did actually miss a shot onto one of the IS3, so he could have gone a little bit better for SPALE, but generally, a perfectly executed split push from Virtus.Pro. You can't really deny them that. They know how to play Himmelsdorf, that's for sure. And now we'll be moving on to our third map, which will be Prokhorovka. So going on what we saw in Steps, this is going to be another map for Virtus.Pro.
Yeah, the way they're playing right now is absolutely unstoppable. But yeah, let's put our eyes towards Prokhorovka because the tank picks will be beginning momentarily when I can actually speak. And we've seen some really crazy stuff on this one, but I don't think we'll be seeing the quad IS3s coming out or anything crazy like that, or should I say triple, excuse me. But, it's a normal start. What do you think we're going to find from these guys?
I think with 416 is entirely possible, as is the Pershing, but double T1 from both teams to get those two out of the way. Double MX 3090 as well. Those are what we'd expect, regardless of really the rest of your tanks on Prokhorovka. But here it's where it gets interesting. The 416 from Virtus.Pro alongside the MX 3090. So that Russian team, they've done their research. They're really theory crafters, so they know the 416 can work. They knew they have a tactic where it's really made to work. But we're looking now towards SPALE's next pick. Probably going to be a Pershing or a 416 in here. Although I got a funny feeling that Pershing can actually, it can kind of counter the 416 in many respects. It's a good consistent amount of damage. It can also bounce shells, and that's indeed what they're going for alongside that T69. So the Pershing and the T69 second to last pick even from SPALE. So one team with the 416, one team with a Pershing, that's SPALE with a Pershing, that's Virtus.Pro with the 416. But here's really interesting being from Virtus.Pro, the T32. And
Wow,
yeah,
okay.
that's going to be interesting. And Eurofish going with the whole name of that tier 8.
You gonna say all of that one?
Rheinmetall Borsig Waffentrager. I don't know if I said
You
that right.
nailed the last part, at least. I've only seen the producer slightly laughing at you.
I think Rheinmetall is the name of the company that used to make tanks for Nazi Germany. I'm not sure entirely. Maybe Borsig is. It's a combination of those names. But yeah,
Wow.
Bit of a history lesson for you guys, if I've got that right. Otherwise, just to complete disregard it. History wasn't my strong subject. AMX 1390, Pershing T69 double T1 for the side of SPALE, Triple MX 1390, T32 double T1, and 416 for Virtus.Pro. So SPALE definitely with a more interesting lineup.
Certainly, they're really pushing the boundary. Seeing that tank coming onto maps that we're really not used to, I want to see it in play again. It got kind of negated on Himmelsdorf by the fact that Virtus.Pro's execution was flawless. But maybe we see something here from it. You know, it's a pretty much all-in tank. You know, it can barely take a strong breeze, but still, if it gets you into its crosshairs or its sights, you're pretty much gone. But still, we'll see how that one kind of comes into play. I'm looking forward to that one. Certainly something I'm enjoying. Recently, at least. I thought mine was a bit of a one-off, but nice seeing it coming back in on maps that maybe doesn't suit it, you know, ideally. Maybe Himmelsdorf could be adapted a touch, but Prokhorov definitely could find its place on here. And where do you think we're going to see that one?
It's going to be camping somewhere. I think Prokhorovka, it's a reasonably accurate tank. It can certainly work. It's just going to be played perfectly by Eurofish. If he can find himself a good spot and just have the rest of his team just line up and the rest of the Virtus.Pro team really have them in the right position, and then it's easy pickings.
So guys, let's get ourselves ready towards the third map, which will be Prokhorovka.
Prokhorovka, a large map at 1,000 by 1,000 meters which allows teams to stretch their legs and artillery to test their skills. There are 3 primary routes of attack: over the left tree road, the middle area, and towards the town. The tree road is very open and flat but has a very large number of bushes and trees that provide good cover if you're not shooting. The middle area is where the initial engagements happen as teams gather as much information as they possibly can. Both teams are fairly symmetrical and only offer small hills and bushes as cover. The middle area is where the initial engagements happen as teams gather as much information as they possibly can. The railroad that splits the map has a large number of bushes running alongside it that provides good cover and the occasional route of attack in the village and hill area. Teams should look towards taking fast tanks and artillery as they complement each other on this expansive map.
So, welcome into the third map. In the north, it will be SPALE facing off against the southern, rather golden Virtus.Pro. And what are we seeing so far from these guys?
SPALE not going over towards the tree roadside, which is a little bit surprising. Instead, opting for the village push. Mokilumi leading that one. Aga, Mapeti, Fantis, all in hot pursuit. Theory going to the right side with that T1 to get the early spots out. The most interesting thing is Eurofish. It's quite a slow tank, so it's struggling to get up the hill. He is playing that Waffentrager tier 8 tank destroyer, so he's got to be the one really making the shots and really hitting those shots. But Virtus.Pro just avoiding that kind of engagement entirely, playing unusually from the south towards the left side with their T32. That's their unusual pick. 416 more of a mainstay. So both teams just kind of, you know, completely separated, very polarized, is what we expect from Prokhorov without artillery. We used to see a lot of middle pushes, a lot of engagements there. Now it's more about just that kind of one team goes left, the other team goes right, and see what happens, whichever can get the most information. But Brainneck's been spotted in that T32. That'll give SPALE enough information to know that most of Virtus.Pro will be over towards that left side, because unsupported, the T32 is just a sitting tank.
Yeah, we'll see how that one comes into play right here. And as you mentioned, that's exactly where they are, but they're not holding back. They are on the move. Virtus.Pro, they're not a team just to turtle down. And look at Diver straight away eyeing up that little tier 1. Spotting him out, but then again, he's been spotted as well, so he needs to be careful. Fantis is still very much present on the horizon. You can see the shells are coming through, however. So Virtus.Pro doing that early damage that they're so good at getting, just instantly causing trouble to their opposition, and that's what I love about them. Never sitting still, always on the move, always looking for that way through. And they're doing it as per usual, getting out those early spots, doing the damage. 8 minutes in, they're looking pretty good.
Have a good start altogether, I think. But Eurofish will now have time just to get some sniping shots off. If you can even land one of them, and just blind shot one of the Virtus.Pro players. Let's say he hits an MX 1390, 750 average damage, MX 1390, 1100 HP. It'll pretty much be out of the equation. If he does 936 damage, which is the top end of that scale, he will seriously do some problems for Virtus.Pro. But missing his first shot onto Diver, he gets away scot-free. Breakneck trying to respond with a shot onto Eurofish. But that was a good little reaction shot. SPALE does, Eurofish even does get one. I'm not sure exactly how that one hit, but it hit the superstructure theory, getting taken out by a blow-up from Diver. A little bit overkill, but he's playing very aggressively.
Yeah, Diver's not holding back at all. Maybe wanted to give the pressure towards SPALE early on because they are in such a kind of immobile tank there. And Diver is looking for B&D. He's spotting him out. That's going to be an easy kill for Diver. So that's 2 down now for SPALE. Both tier 1s have been lost, but you can still hear that bigger gunfire going on. But then bear in mind, no one from Virtus.Pro is yet to receive 1 point of damage. They are sitting so pretty right now. They're very happy taking their time. And as I say that, there was just a shell coming towards Kusok. Did not land and connect, but still, need to be careful. SPALE cannot be taken lightly.
They certainly can't, and Mapetti's already trying to change their fortunes. As you said, they can't be taken lightly, and now 2-0 down. The pressure's on them, losing Prokhorovka and Himmelsdorf, Steps and Himmelsdorf even. But they have to get the tank destroyer in the right position. I think the right position would be somewhere up on this hill, up on the Prokhorovka hill, and just get the higher ground where it will be able to do some serious damage if it can. Kusok missing another shot. Fantis trying to connect one onto, I believe that was Breakneck. So surprisingly, Breakneck playing the T32. I thought Diver was always the better T32 player. Breakneck always an MX 1390 player. But that's just a matter of opinion, I think. Diver's obviously improved a lot in his MX 1390 and his light tanks. He was a little bit questionable on those ones, but he's certainly picked his game up, and he certainly has to, because they're still on the chase for Team Dignitas. Team Dignitas on 13 wins and only 2 losses, while Virtus.Pro on 10 wins and 2 losses and 1 draw. So they're definitely sitting behind their arch rivals, which will put a lot more, incentive into their gameplay. They want to be catching up. Team Dignitas, although I think they're the stronger team.
I can't help but to agree with you. And at this point, the only player receiving damage so far is Kusok, down to 942 HP. Just Cause is edging forward as well, but still careful enough play. And Virtus.Pro always seem to be so clinical in their choices. You can see they're split mostly down towards the opposition's flag, but they're not making a massive move out of it just yet. But I can imagine Delight might be tempted to peer over towards Mupti in that T69, but playing it carefully once again. Not overextending, not over-challenging, but having to back away a touch there, because we did see Mupti getting a little bit aggressive. Diver is there with him, so 2v1, they should have the advantage here, as long as they can hold on to it and not allow any sort of backup to arrive from SPALE.
What Muppety doesn't realize is that it's actually a 2 versus 1. He only thinks Diver there is there. He only expected that because he's the only one who's been spotted. So it's going to be very hard if he gets 2 versus 1, because the MX 1390 will just obliterate him. And
may I ask, Diver's turret is nowhere near Muppety. Is this almost trying to entice him over, possibly, or just try and keep him in place?
Yeah, but he's spotted out Delight, so that was a little. You just get the commander's copula over that hill, and you're going to get spotted immediately.
Well, you can hear those sirens are ringing right now. 40 seconds on the board. SPALE's hand will be forced. It's Virtus.Pro trying to get in here early. Kusok is in just about toe, but right now it's Fantis making a bit of a move. He's going to be challenging out down by that middle section. Just Cause is there, as is Kusok, all keeping their eyes trained towards this. Fantis is being forced over here, and well, it's an all-in push going out.
20 seconds left on the clock. It's the 2 T1s, and that's why you don't give away your T1s, but Eurofish resetting the cap, and now Just Cause has got to be careful because he's on his own.
Yeah, Just Cause is pretty much the solo ranger right now. He's got 2 players staring him down, Fantis and Moki Illumi. A minute on the clock, so there's not a big threat there, but keep your eyes on the board, obviously, because right now Just Cause trying to back away, but he's not getting out of this unscathed. He's down to 61 HP. Eurofish has taken down Las Vegas, but 61 HP is not a lot to be trying to escape on. And my God, right now Muppety does go down to Delight. A lovely little blow-for-blow battle. Somehow, you see those shots finally coming through. Aga taking out Delight as well, and this is unbelievably close. One for one exchange. It just depends if you like the T69 on your team going down or the MX 1390. Virtus.Pro lost the MX 1390, SPALE lost the T69, both teams lost their T1s. I would say in terms of HP, it's certainly in the favor of SPALE right now. A couple of the Virtus.Pro guys have lost a little bit, and that T32 being kind of on its own and being so slow and having made its own play, I think SPALE can win this one. They just have to use Fantis properly. They have to use Eurofish in the right position. He's done a good job so far, taking out those 2 T1s, using the excellent camo value of the quite low positioned
Waffentrager Tier 8 tank destroyer. And that's really been a good job for them. But 2 minutes and 43 seconds left on the clock. Fantas has to be ultra careful now, reversing 519 HP. That's a 3-shot for an AMX 1390, a 2-shot for a 416 and a T32. But now it's SPALE's turn to make the move.
Yeah, SPALE are not going to allow Virtus.Pro to sit back and rest on their laurels. They're going straight in towards that cap, and the only player near right now is Breakneck. So it's a long, long journey back towards their own flag, but they've got 1 minute and 25 to make it. And, well, let's see if they can do it. Just Cause and Kusok making their way. Divers doing the damage down towards Eurofish there. Lovely play from him down that 6 line as per usual. But right now, let's see how the other guys are getting on. Kusok and Just Cause still edging through, but look how slow Just Cause is in that 1390, damaged up to the hills. This is not going to be an easy retake from Virtus.Pro for once, but my God, that was close.
Very nice little shot there from Eurofish. I think he's actually using HE ammo. That's why he didn't kill Diver. 750 is the average damage for that gun. 563 is the minimum amount of damage you can do. So a bit unlucky for Eurofish, but that's what happens when you don't use the right kind of ammo for your gameplay. I think he expected the low armor of the MX 1390 to trying to give away a little bit more, but if it hits the track, then the armor doesn't really make a difference. Fantas does get taken out, but he responds with a kill on Mokilumi.
Lovely little back and forth, but look at Eurofish, almost melted down in one shot there. He's on 29 HP now. HP advantage has to be with Virtus.Pro, but Breakneck cannot back away just yet. On 828, luckily that shell will not connect, because right now he's going to be trying to find some safer cover, using that deflator of the hill to get out of the sights of the opposition. Now just Breakneck, Kusok, and Just Cause stand for Virtus.Pro. They've got Eurofish, Agaha, and Mokilumi to find.
Yeah, and it's Just Cause. He's on so low HP, and Eurofish is there as well. Both teams now with 3 Tier 8 tanks. 2 T32, 416, AMX 1390 for Virtus.Pro. Waffentrager, AMX 1390 ×2 for SPALE. I think it's pretty even. Breakneck has taken a bit of damage, but I think honestly Eurofish has to be careful because he is quite slow. He is quite hard to maneuver, but with that T32 on its own, unsupported, it will be an absolute gunner. 1,440 is the average damage that F3 gun on the AMX 1390 can do if he does collapse on the T32, and that's what its idea is.
Oh, well, look at this. Mokilumi being almost the perfect bait. They're drawing Breakneck in for the likes of Eurofish and Agaha to do the damage, but this might be backfiring right now. Breakneck will be looking to land those shots, and he's done just that, taking Mokilumi down to 500 HP. Kusok trying to play carefully, but look at this. Breakneck now being the target of focus. He's down low, but there's that shot coming through. Mokilumi down. Agaha, next target. 10 seconds left. They need to make this count, and Virtus.Pro have just about done it in the last couple of seconds. They landed the shells they needed. Kusok will seal the deal, and Virtus.Pro basically taking the reins of that game right at the very last second.
Unbelievable stuff. And I think, once again, player skill error from the side of SPALE, communication error from the side of SPALE. They had two options, basically. They had that 416 and they had the T32. The question for their team commander was, go for the 416 or go for the T32. Both went opposite directions. One went for the T32, one went for the 416, which is disastrous. Well, Virtus.Pro didn't make that mistake at all. They saw the MX 1390 on the left. He was the easier target. He was the first to go down. And that was all it came down to. I would have gone for the 416 because it has a better reload than the T32. Just get that out of the equation. It's less likely to bounce as well. It has less armor. It's less tricky to penetrate.
Yeah, and I think we've just found the best name for your... can you just say that lovely tank again?
Waffentrager.
Yeah, we're going to call it the Waffle Tiger now. Thank you, Rookil, for that one. It's its new name. I'm going to enjoy saying that. At least I can now pronounce it if it does something. Before I'd be like, yeah, Eurofish is doing well. Just avoid any German pronunciation. I can't do it. Like, literally, it's appalling. But still, Virtus.Pro, 3-0 right now. The last two maps need to go to SPALE if our predictions are even going to be close to correct.
Yeah.
And with Ruinberg being the next one, I don't know. This is not an easy one. Virtus.Pro quite good at this map.
Not too bad at all.
Oh, yeah, not too shabby.
They're not bad at every map. I think that's really the theme of Virtus.Pro or any of these kind of top Russian teams. But yeah, I think that was a little bit unfortunate for SPALE. They're definitely going to be kicking themselves.
They had such an upper hand in that one.
Yeah, I think honestly what that comes down to is lack of training from SPALE. You can see it in their kind of way they play their tanks. They just seem to lack that, you know, real synergy together, which you get when you play countless hours together on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Hopefully that 742 mode is going to change that, because before that they only had one proper training this season.
That's kind of worrying, isn't it?
It is a little bit.
Slightly terrifying. But anyway, horror aside, let's get our eyes back towards the game, because they already get those tank picks underway, and for pride's sake alone, SPALE need to pick up these next two because right now they're 3-0 down. So yes, Virtus.Pro overall have won the game, but SPALE, you can't be losing 5-0. You guys are meant to be the giant slayers, and right now they're just being crushed. So what do you think we'll see here? We saw a great Ruinberg last time. Might be a little bit of adaptation coming out, maybe, a little bit of a change. I don't think we'll see what we saw before. Is this going to be a head-on-head match?
Yeah, I think it's going to be just a standard kind of brawl in the middle. I think it's really what we've seen a lot of, but
yeah.
Virtus.Pro like to adapt a little bit. They really like to think of their strategies, but whatever Virtus.Pro is going to do, it's been trained 100 times before. But tag picking has begun from the side of SPALE, double T1 for them. Probably going to be repeated by the Virtus.Pro side. And we just have to see what they're going to pick up on this one, because Ruinberg is an ever-changing map. It's not a map which has really been, dug down in terms of tanks.
That's what I quite like about it, because Himmelsdorf, let's say, when you go for that, let's say, the outrageous pick that we saw of the Waffle Tiger, which is such a great name.
I love that from an American. I mean, they've got to name it after some food. It's just classic.
And they just added Tiger at the end, like a really aggressive one. Like, I'd like to be seeing that at like an IHOP or something, like, get your Waffle Tiger here. But that aside, it's like when you do that on like Himmelsdorf, everyone knows how to counter it. We saw a 3-2 split coming out from Virtus.Pro. It was perfectly done. They negated his presence, and they just hammered it home. And what the hell are they doing to me?
So
my point is ruined because they've gone for the Waffle Tiger.
Shouldn't have said it, Lauren.
I know.
You cast this curse. You should know this by now. Double T1 from Virtus.Pro. And SPALE putting their face once again into that Waffle Tiger, Waffen Tiger, whatever you like to call it.
Waffle Tiger, we're sticking with it.
Yeah, they've taken 2 of them this time, though. So they've thought, well, it hasn't worked for the last 2 maps, so let's double them and see what happens. And double your luck, and maybe it'll work out. MX3090, 5100 for Virtus.Pro. And once again, okay, SPALE are trolling right now. They've gone for 4 Waffle Tigers. So yeah, SPALE know they've lost it right now. They're just going to go for 4 and just see what happens, and maybe it'll work out. Virtus.Pro will probably absolutely decimate them.
Listen, I kind of like SPALE for this stuff in a really weird, trolly way. I kind of enjoy it. But then again, when they don't make it into the finals every time at offline events, it's like, guys, this is why. Yeah. Every time they end at like 8th position and they're just out of that top 6, it's like, why didn't you use those 2 maps for practice rather than going for the Waffle Tiger combo? Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like every now and then it is the difference between a very good team and an okay team, that they use every single thing as practice. Whether they lose it in 3 maps straight and then they go, okay, let's use these last 2 to test out things and really work on our strategies, because there's no better practice than an official game. This was SPALE kind of tumbled down a bit. They're like, okay, let's go for the Waffle Tigers and see what we can do. Because, hell, if they win, genius. But it's very unlikely.
Yeah, I think Virtus.Pro are just going to eat them alive, to be honest. I mean...
Wow. Wow. I didn't think I was opening up for these puns, but I guess it's...
it's what you get.
I can imagine it will be a bit of a delight for them.
Yeah, it certainly is going to be... it's going to be a sweet victory if they do take it. Second to last pick from Virtus.Pro, 5100 times 2. The last pick from Eurofish, yeah, it's going to be another Waffle Tiger from them. So they're going for the 5 Waffle Tigers, double T1 lineup, standard lineup from the side of SPALE if you're mental. And last pick from Virtus.Pro will be the T32. So yeah, just a standard lineup for them. Double T1, a couple of T32, well, 1 T32, some MX3090 T69 for the side of the serious Virtus.Pro. They're going to, new meta. Eurofish is just saying this is the new meta for Ruinberg.
They're telling me they're dead serious.
Yeah.
I'm going for it. Quickie Babies apparently told them this is the new meta. He's been giving them a little bit of a tip there, so who knows? Maybe this is the next generation of Ruinberg we'll be seeing. So as soon as Virtus.Pro are ready, we'll see how it goes. And don't forget, the banter between these two is at least slightly amusing. I'll give them that. But I'm worried for SPALE. I do sometimes feel as though they're that kid in class who does end up eating the crayons. But we'll see how they do right now. I'm worried.
That was you, Lauren. So I mean, you can't really insult
I got
them.
crayons stuck up my nose. All right, I didn't eat them. Don't look at me like that, Melly. I can see out the corner of my eye. I felt judgment. Look, I thought they tasted. Oh, they were gonna like smell nice, and I don't even know what happened.
Everyone
right?
makes that mistake.
It was like Play-Doh. Who didn't eat Play-Doh and then figured out it just tasted like salty
I ate dirt,
death?
So I thought that would taste good.
Dirt.
Yeah.
Wow. Fantastic. So hopefully the countdown will begin. So to get away from my strange childhood and welcome you to Ruinberg.
Ruinberg is one of our newer city maps, and it's fairly large, being 800 by 800 meters. There are 3 main routes of attack: the roads leading to the city, the road going through the middle, and the village area. Each of these have 2 important areas to control. The city has very large roads and plenty of opportunities for teams to flank. The long roads also provide for good sniping areas as well as corner shooting. Teams often push through the village area, and once controlled, the team can move on to the enemy's base. You should pick heavy tanks with high alpha damage for corner sniping, as well as a faster tank for the middle spot.
Alrighty guys, welcome into the 4th map. It is the Waffle Tiger lineup. Looking pretty good to go, pretty hungry there. And we are seeing them up against Virtus.Pro. They will be retitled SPALE.Waffle Tigers pretty soon, but let's see how this one goes. I don't know how to introduce this one because it's going to be interesting. What are they up to so far?
Kind of splitting a couple of their tanks off left and right. Most of their Waffle Tigers sitting up in the kind of housing area next to their base. Fantis and Agaher going off on a little bit of a split though. They're going to be pushing out the middle to see if they can catch Virtus.Pro unawares. But most of Virtus.Pro playing the standard tactic. These are the ultra serious Russians, so they're always going to play as best as they possibly can, regardless of the result they have. Sending their T-32 and T-69 as well as the 5100 up the middle, ready to try and do that initial sniping damage if they can. But they're going to be met by Eurofish, Mappetti, and Moki Lumi, all ready to do some serious damage if they can. But Brainiac is going to be the first up here. He does get punished immediately. A couple of punishing shots, to say the very least.
Wow.
And Moki Lumi finally finishing off. Breakneck getting completely broken. 3 shots to the good, and 2 of them pretty much finishing him off anyway.
Who am I to judge, eh? These guys are doing it right now. Aga has taken down Karitz. At the moment, Virtus.Pro have the lead. They melted a T-32 in seconds. But then again, as you mentioned, glass cannons. It's a little bit of a one-sided thing. Moki Lumi is welcoming you guys to enjoy this one. And let's see if they can keep that one up, because Diver and Kusok spinning into each other there as they're trying to find their way. Will Virtus.Pro find their way back in here? Eurofish being taken low. Kusok landing that shell. Beautiful stuff. Stunning little sniper shot coming from Kusok, showing you how it's done right there. But still, the Waffle Tigers stand.
Indeed they do, but Las Vegas is proving a little bit too much for them to handle. Fantis going down to 715 from a T1 cutting. That's exactly how much of a glass cannon this tank is. It's pretty much equal to a T1. It's so easy to penetrate, it isn't even funny. But Diver's got to be a little bit careful, because Moki Lumi has got his eyes set on him, and Just Cause pushing through the middle. They're just going to try and flank and get themselves onto SPALE.
Yeah, here we go. Just Cause not holding back. He's going to position himself by that fountain, allow Kusok and Co to come around the side. They found B and D there, so that should be a nice, easy little shot, which it is. Picked up by Just Cause, and that 1390. But Kusok, Diver, and Delight still on the hunt, but you can hear those guns going off, but no brilliant connections yet. Las Vegas still on the hunt. We're not seeing a T1 being this useful for a long time. We've seen Thierry fall as well, so now just the Waffle Tigers stand. And Just Cause is still hunting. Kusok, Diver, and Delight being a little bit more careful, because obviously you don't want to take these on straight up, because they can do a hell of a lot of damage. Las Vegas has spotted out Fantis, and now it's a matter of time before Virtus.Pro get themselves in here. Fantis has taken down Las Vegas, but here come the shots, and Delight has taken down Fantis. Now Moki Lumi and Mupti are in trouble. Can there be a reply? Is there any hope here for SPALE? Right now, the answer is a resounding no. And Delight coming in towards Moki. It's Muppety actually who's taking a pounding from both sides. Kusok makes light word of him, and now just one stands. It's just Aga, and Just Cause is gonna smash him to pieces. And 700 HP will be obliterated in moments. Kusok's got 3, Just Cause got 2, and Virtus.Pro have 4 maps in a row. Sadly, the Waffle Tigers not doing too well. Hi, Melly. That's her focus face on the game. That's her saying, like, what are these Waffle Tigers doing? Exactly. You know what I mean? It's a bit of a baffling side. It even confused our producer. That's how confusing it was. Not sure about that one. Not going to analyze that one at all. Let's smiley face from Just Cause. Thank you very much, guys. Scumbags. But 4 in a row for Virtus.Pro there. And SPALE keeping as they usually do, doing their usual thing of trolling us, which is nice. We did see at least 1 kill coming, and I've got to say it, they do sound pretty awesome when they fire.
They sound like shit guns. It's pretty incredible.
They do.
They're probably very, very big guns in real life. I mean, the M26 Pershing's small gun, but it looks big in real life. So that
They're
thing must be
gigantic.
on another level, to be honest.
I'd love to see one of those, to be fair, up close and personal.
I'm pretty sure it was a prototype
yeah,
of some sort.
indeed. So we're not going to probably be finding too many of those around. And you might be seeing why they were just a prototype, to be fair, if it was anything like what we just found. But mines will be up next. And tank picking has begun, so let's not waste any time. Let's get in towards this one. And what do you think we're going to see here?
Well, I have no idea, Lauren, because this
Waffle
is
Tigers?
SPALE. Yeah, maybe just TOG 2s or something.
Don't even mention the word TOG 2. All
Yeah.
right, don't bring that one back up. That was my first kind of taste of the trolling that
Of
can
SPALE,
happen.
yeah.
It was my first taste of SPALE, and it was interesting. The all TOG lineup basically. Good old SPALE.
Good old SPALE indeed.
And at least they've gone for a normal start. They've got 2 tier 1s, so
That's a good start from
that's
SPALE.
a good start
Yeah.
from them. They're starting things off normally.
Yeah.
And there we go, normal picks. We're back to
This could be normal.
it could be. Let's.
Double T1 from Virtus.Pro, double T1 from SPALE, MX3090 T69 for Virtus.Pro, double MX3090 for SPALE, then another double MX3090 from Virtus.Pro. So at the moment, just normal picks, no TOGs, no Waffen Tigers or whatever. And maybe that's going to be the theme, hopefully, because if SPALE goes 5-0 down against a team they've often beat, it's going to be a little bit embarrassing. And okay. SPALE, 2 Waffen Tigers. So what they're doing there, Lauren, is they were trolling us,
Right.
making as if it was going to be normal picks,
Right.
and then they hammer us with 2 Waffen Tigers just to get us back into our right sense of mind.
To be fair, though, the Waffle Tiger wasn't bad last time we saw it on mines.
Yeah, but one of them was all right. I'm not sure about 2. And maybe this is going to be 2 or 4.
It could be some more joining us here.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, your old fish, and there's going to be words after. We're going to have a serious chat about your Waffle Tiger obsession.
The only real chance they have is if they give Virtus.Pro diabetes with that much waffles in this mix. So
That was an appalling joke. That was so badly done. It actually made me sad.
you're used to it by now.
I am.
2 seasons later.
This is the sad part. I really. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, so last pick from Virtus.Pro T32, last pick from SPALE. Is there going to be another Waffle Tiger? So they've gone for 3 Waffen Tigers, 2 MX3090s double T1s for SPALE, for Virtus.Pro, 3 MX3090s, a T32 double T1, and that T69 as their last pick. So just a standard lineup from Virtus.Pro, of course. They're not going to be trolling anything. They want to at least try and practice if they're not going to, have a normal kind of... if they already won it, they might as well practice.
See, that's the mentality we like to see here, unlike SPALE, you scumbags. But still, who knows? We might be in for a bit of a treat once they're ready, obviously. Yeah, I don't know anymore. This is my brain just kind of seeping through my nose, which is what generally happens when I used to put crayons up there. But still, 4-0 is the current scoreline. We will be starting in just a moment, so let's get that video rolling for mines.
Mines, the original and best World of Tanks 7-on-7 map famed for its incredible tactical opportunities. A small map being 800 by 800 meters. The map has 3 primary routes of attack, the left flank through the water, the middle area and the town side. The key position on this map is the middle area as it provides great firing positions and areas of attack for the team that holds it. The middle area's primary entrance is the road passing through the middle of the map. It is essential that the teams take key areas around the hill, both of which are situated just below the hill, the north side and the south side. These locations can provide for some amusing tactics. The hill isn't the only means of attack on mines though. There's also a housing area towards the east side that has a fair few routes of attack and provides great cover for advancing tanks. The water area can be an option for teams, however the soft ground makes it very hard for tanks to traverse rapidly but leads straight to the opponent's base.
So, welcome into the final map here. We will be seeing Virtus.Pro facing off against the Waffle Tigers of SPALE. And it will be on mines, and it's decided if it's for 4-1 or for 5-0 scoreline. So what are we seeing so far?
Both teams just heading towards the middle, but Virtus.Pro obviously getting there first, having 3 AMX3090s there for only 2 of SPALE. So that would have been a bad move for SPALE if they put 2 on against 3, regardless of the reload. Kusuk was just there in the background to try and do some damage from the initial spots, not managing to do such. But the worst thing Virtus.Pro can do right now is just peek out. If they peek out, they're going to find a lot of damage staring them down the gun, the barrel, and they're going to be in some serious trouble. But Eurofish, he's playing pretty aggressively, sitting up over towards the left side. in his AMX3090. He does get punished a little bit, down to 627. But he's in a he's kind of gambled and it's paid off because he's in a good position right now. He can keep constant spot and he can pester Virtus.Pro from behind. He can do some serious damage. All he has to do is connect those shells. Virtus.Pro sitting backwards though. They're playing a standard tactic on mines, not trying anything new, not pushing out the boat at all.
Yep, so Kusok and Breakneck towards the central position by the kind of rotating rock, but they have to be careful. Eurofish is obviously just behind them, not too far away, and it does kind of negate the cover they're in. Just Cause Delight playing quite passively now, obviously forced into a more of a defensive posture. We have seen the first kill coming in favor, though, to Virtus.Pro. That T32 taking down B&D in that tier 1. So lovely shots coming through, however, towards Eurofish. He's going to be taken down by Just Cause, and that little bit of an advantage has been brought back all even.
Yeah, MX3090 tier 8, tier 1 as well, down for the side of SPALE. Not a good start for them at all, but that's what you would expect when they kind of troll and not really try. And it kind of upsets me a little bit because if it does come down to it, if they're sitting in 6th position or 5th position and you're looking towards that mini-league, how many rounds have you won against the top teams will decide if you get into that top 6, into the grand finals. And they could be kicking themselves at the end of the day and saying, why did we take troll lineups? Why do we troll when it meant so much? And it's just that short-sightedness that SPALE is quite famous for, and it's often what they do. But they're going to be sitting backwards, expecting Virtus.Pro to push onto them. It's politeness, I think, at the end of the day. Now they've lost one tier 8 tank down, and Diver's going to be the first one making the move, pushing onto Mokilumi, who is on his own, but so is Diver, so it doesn't really make a difference.
Yeah, Diver looking around there. He's on the hunt, trying to find anything out of place. He's obviously clearing out that 0-line area, going to make his way across carefully and cautiously, but still, it will do the job. He has been spotted out, I do believe. So, yeah, there's the first bit of fire coming in. That's actually from a 1390, so a little bit of a difference, but still. Careful play. He needs to be a bit cautious now. He knows that glass cannons are certainly in play, but stunning little counter shot going back on towards Mokilumi. He's going to reposition towards the smaller village and play it safe.
And Fantas and Aga weren't really in the position to just punish that one because the MX3090, you can just sit behind the rock and get the shots onto Mokilumi as he drive past. So good play from Virtus.Pro. It's what you'd expect. Diver's going to be the one making the plays, though. He has to push forwards, trying to get the counter on. But it does look like Virtus.Pro on the rotate now, sending the MX3090 probably around the island, come from both the hill with the T32 and the T69, also from the island, just split push, put so much pressure onto those tank destroyers. Okay, maybe they'll shoot a couple of shots, but once on that 16 seconds reload, they really have nothing to do.
Yeah, and the other tier 1 has been found, so huge favor to Virtus.Pro now. They're in a great position, but there we have it. There's the kill coming back, but that's only Mokilumi taking down the tier 1, so we are going to see who's going to get in a better position. Fantas has been spotted out by Delight there, so that's a big bit of connection coming in. Delight and Just Cause being that firing squad, going to get into a better position now because they are out in the open. 6, 7, 9 HP left on Delight. They've got to be careful. They need to find their way through, but they want to get that shot off, and they've done it, taking down one. But there's the reply coming in, but here comes the move from Virtus.Pro.
Nice little shot from Aga, really connecting onto Delight, but Fanta's only doing about 430 damage because of the HE ammo, but Diver's got in from the side. Aga's got to try and reverse, and honestly, with Muppety in the background and only Mokilumi in a kind of a strange position, I don't see what SPALE can really do to dig themselves out of here.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a limited one there. Breakneck will be peering through the tiniest gap in the hills there. Kusok will land the killing blow. And now it's just those 2 glass cannons left, and they're pretty well aware of where they are. Agaha being spotted out, as has Muppety. Diver waiting to get in on this one. But look at Kusok just mounting the mountain there and looking for his way forward. That T69 suppression just in full effect right now. Just Cause going to be moving in. He wants that final blow towards him. 108 HP. We're going to see Just Cause picking that one up. And now Diver going on the final hunt. Muppety has moments to live for. Diver's going to put him to bed. And Virtus.Pro, they get a clean slate victory there, 5-0. And SPALE, what are you doing to me, folks? I liked you guys. This is why I like Kaz and Crew more than you.
Oh.
Oh, ouch. I'm sorry. I got to know. I'm only kidding.
That hurt for you to say, right?
It did. I love the way SPALE play. Like, they're such a talented side at times, but when they bring out the lineups like that, it's a little bit like, come on. You can actually do well, and like a 3-2 scoreline, I wouldn't put beyond them. That's what I say at the start, because I know they're more than capable of doing it. But as soon as they don't pick up those first 2 maps, and then obviously the third, they're like, let's do our own thing, which it doesn't really help them.
Certainly doesn't. And I think if at the end of the day, even if you lost the series, then you can at least get some good training. I think they missed out on that opportunity. Virtus.Pro is the perfect team to train against because they are so good. Probably top 3 in the world, along with Dignitas and Na'Vi. Top 4 if you count Red Rush Unity. But honestly, I think SPALE just being SPALE at the end of the day, losing, as you said, the first 2 maps, they got them down a lot in terms of morale. They didn't have the momentum going forwards. They really need to win that first map steps. Then they would have been in a good position to take the rest of them as well. But it's SPALE, it's SPALE. If they have a good day, then they do fantastically and they can beat pretty much any team out there. If they have a bad day like today, they're missing a player or maybe the communication's wrong, they haven't been training a lot together, then you saw what just happened.
Yeah, and that's their biggest fault in the nicest way, that they can be so up and down at times, because we've seen them before being absolutely sensational. Like, literally, they can be a top-tier team, as you mentioned. But in that situation, they were so far from it. It's hard to watch when they're that good as well. It's a little bit of a blow seeing them play like that. It's like, guys, come on, you are literally so much better. They're in 6th position right now. Now, let's take into account where they're on the rankings. Let me just read this through so you guys can understand it. Don't worry, producer. Don't fear. It's just the fact that, okay, the likes of Odin Mortis, 17 points. Let me just put that in full screen so you guys can see that a little bit better right now. So it's the fact that just below them, Odin Mortis, 17 points. Below that, Playing Duck, 16. And just below that, Kazan on 15. There's so minimal amounts of points here. Literally 1 win for Odin Mortis, they'll be up on par with them. SPALE have just lost, so they'll sit on 0 points. So if Odin Mortis win their game, SPALE are out of their top 6. This is the threat at this point in the season. The fact that, SPALE can slip right now, and allowing games that they've just had to go the way they did, this is the threat at this point. There's only 5 play days left. You cannot allow this to go that way in any way, shape, or form. Every single match day has to count, with only 5 times to prove yourself in. There's 15 points to basically pick up if you win every game. It's not that hard to work out. And everything can change. At the very top to, the very bottom, it's not that much movement. From, let's say, 9th to 1st, if Dignitas somehow don't win another game, Kaz and crew who are in that position can catch up, which is a bit of a stretch, let's say. But still, it's the fact that SPALE cannot be losing these games because the games are getting so damn close.
And they were gutted not to be participating in the Season 2 finals at Gamescom. And, they really need that just feeling of just, being upset and just sad at themselves and not doing well and not getting to that stage, just to give them that momentum here, because this is where it counts,
That's it.
We're heading over towards that last third of the season. You can still get yourself a 6th spot, which they are just about in, sitting at 6th. But it's such, as you said, 15 to 20 points. It's 5 points between them. It's a couple of wins. It's a couple of losses. Anything can happen at this point. I mean, okay, Team Dignitas, Virtus.Pro, D-Nova, probably cemented Mousesports heading their way up, and beating Team WD will just keep them there. So I think those 4 pretty much set. And so at least
I'd say top 3 secure.
Top 3 secure, fair enough, okay. But Odamore is SPALE, Kazan crew, all these guys which we know are very good and capable of getting that top 6 position, no problem at all. They really need to make sure they get their gameplay and just their ability just to get at least a draw, get at least 1 point. Don't give anything away to the opposition. Don't have a bad day. Train, get on yourself on the 7-on-7 mode, and make sure you get in the top 6 spots, because we want to see them there.
Yeah, certainly, I really do. Because obviously, look at Evil Panda Squad. They made it through to the finals last time around, or the offline finals, in the last possible place you can qualify, and they went all the way through to the grand finals face Virtus.Pro. It was an incredible story, but hopefully these guys can sort it out in the next couple of play days, because they are really treading on very thin ice. So, 5-0 scoreline. I don't think we would have guessed that one. I didn't think we thought it was coming 3-2. We kind of suspected, but Melly is waiting to give us an update to see how you guys at home actually predicted that one out. So, Melly, how did they actually find that one at home? Because I don't think we expected a 5-0. I know, right?
I'm still sad.
I know. We're there with you.
Why are you doing this to me? Come on. You can do better. We've seen great plays from you guys. I don't know, could this be some kind of lack of motivation or something like that?
It
like
shouldn't be, though.
Mid-season crisis. I don't know.
It's sad to see.
I had faith in you guys. Just like roughly 50% of the community. And yeah, you disappointed us all. No,
it's like a disappointed mum.
Yes.
I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed.
It's the worst. It's the worst sentence you can hear from your mum as well.
And Lauren, you read my face expression so well. That was exactly what was happening in my mind. I was just sitting here, looking on the screen above the camera, and just face palming myself. Like, I don't know.
Yep.
I don't know. And we had a nice tweet from Lupu just in front of Runeberg. I guess if I will blink in the next match, I'll lose the entire first encounter and the match will be over. Just to point out the squishiness of the Waffenträger.
It's kind of true that they do get melted like
Yeah.
instantly. As soon as like they get spotted, it's like, okay, they'll get one bit of damage, and I'm used to then backing away, repositioning. But the Waffle Tiger literally goes boom, and it's just gone. It's just like instantly taken away. They just get taken out so simply. As you said, even a tier 1 was doing damage to it on Ruinberg.
And just funny thing is that because they can be penetrated so easily by T1, and with that Hispano 20mm, it shoots so fast that it penetrates you, it goes straight through the tank, hits the engine, and sets you on fire. So it's just destroyed instantly, as you said.
Yep.
And as you guys just mentioned before, every single map counts in our new ranking system.
Really does.
Maybe nobody has told SPALE yet. I don't know. But you have to fight for every point, and everything could be the last little drop in a filled I don't know. It's just no, that's not working, people. And people are complaining because you said Waffenträger instead of Waffenträger, but it's not his fault because in game it's spelled Waffenträger.
Thank you.
There you go.
Because of the
Guys.
missing sorry, it's a letter. It's a letter we have in German, and it's not Ali's fault.
There you go, guys. God damn you, I can speak
Waffenträger
to
is right, but people love calling it Waffle Tiger from now on, and I think they will
We've
continue
renamed it.
doing it. And they're also saying it should be renamed.
Rukil, what have you done, man?
Rukil has broken us. He comes in here for like, a couple of times watching the show and he renames stuff. This is why we can't allow these guys from NA over here. We're just, sorry guys, get back over to your scene, all right? You're destroying our tanks. Goddamn Americans.
Those guys from the other side of the pond.
He does have a nice hat though, so
Yeah.
kind of evens out. We'll allow it to happen.
Well, we have new submissions for Halloween contest. I will upload them on the next minutes. And if you guys at home want to submit a nice carved pumpkin, which you did by yourself, by, I don't know, give me a proof by just laying a piece of paper next to it with your name written on it or something like that. You can send me a second picture without the piece of paper, which I can upload. It looks prettier without the paper. I understand you guys. But, well, we have a lot of gold on the line, so take part in our challenge and follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, be part of our social media network, follow our Twitch channel, just get involved. You will be rewarded, I promise you. And I will be rewarding the 3 tweets of the day later on. So stay tuned on our social media platforms and maybe you will win one of our nice bonus codes.
Mm-hmm. And did we get any questions today, or is it all quiet on the Western Front?
They were all just baffled from what
By
happened.
the Waffle Tiger.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Fair enough, fair enough. You've distracted our people away from questions and towards waffles and tigers. Thank you very much, Spale. But I think we had a great play day all in all. I think it's just cementing the fact that, the very top of the scene at the moment, vs.Pro, Dignitas, even Denova, really deserve their positions. They're looking almost unstoppable. And, even prior to that, we had a good game between Team WD there, who showed a little bit of class once again, but not quite to the extent we need to get them towards.
Yeah, I think Team WD, as you said before, need the consistency in that 3D play. And I think for SPALE, they have the capability, but they just don't seem to have the means to get themselves together and get themselves a reliable team. And what annoys me is I said SPALE in Season 1 and Season 2 would be the team for Season 3, but instead I've had to start leaning towards Denova, who really seem to have taken that spot.
Well, on the note of Denova, if you guys do want to check out why he's backing these folks, make sure you tune in on the 7th, which will be Thursday at the exact same time, because they'll be facing off against Odin Mortis. Now, bearing in mind, Odin Mortis were at the very top of this league not too long ago. They'd taken down Virtus.Pro, they'd beaten Dignitas, they were showing that they were so strong, but then they crumbled and they fell into that mid-season slump. And then following that, it's the game that everyone wants to see. It's the one game that I literally get so excited about. It's Dignitas up against Virtus.Pro. It's the big dogs going head to head. So if you like the sound of that, make sure you follow all the social media channels, which Melly told you about. Make sure you follow this Twitch channel as well, because every time we go live, you get a lovely little email telling you that. So, and also follow us on Twitter at TheyCallMePansy and at LaughterWOT, because we tweet out every time we go live. And with that in mind, make sure you tune in on Thursday, because I can tell you now, it will be one of the best play days. So hopefully, see you guys then.